Hi there everyone, this is Josh Hull. I'm going to be going through the process now of taking a laser scan and converting it into a Victorian Cameo like these. So here's the laser scan that I've turned into a watertight mesh. I used, it's just a laser scan. You can get your model however you want. And I have, so this is what a Victorian Cameo looks like. We're going to get this laser printed. So what I'm trying to do is get this sort of embossed into the surface of this object here for 3D printing. So the first thing that I'm going to do is going to import my mesh. Just align this. I want the view to actually. So what I'm attempting to do is take a plane and then extrude it up to this surface effectively. And I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning up of this 3D model. So I'm just going to move the pivot first to center to the object. That's pretty much, just find the angle that I want it to extrude out from, which is pretty much that. Yeah, about that. Great, now Control C to create a camera. I'll shift back into this view and go to Create, Helpers, Tape Measure, and I'll just measure just to get an idea of the distance. So this is 50 meters to the start, and let's say about 60, 62 meters to the back of this object. Now what I want to do is create, just hit M to create a material. I'll set the diffuse color for this to black, select color, and we will select fall off. Now we want to set this to distance blend, and I'll set the near to 50 meters and the far to 62. I can adjust this in a minute. And then, alright, so now we have this material. Just go to environment, select use map, and I'll just do a test render. So I'll select the mental ray render, and in processing, just go to material override and pull that material in there as an instance. So I'll just do a test render and see how it looks. Great, so you can see that that's building a distance map, and the closest bits are completely white. We might want to adjust it slightly to get it looks like the far distance is incorrect. So I'm going to come in here and just reduce the far distance, say 56, see how it looks. Yep, it's too far. It's getting there. Okay, so we've got all the bits that we want here. And now I'm going to just make sure, let's see, image precision we want high. And I'll just change the resolution. I'll just render this and see how it looks. What we want is a high resolution height map that we can apply as a diffuse map to the surface of the other object. I'm fairly happy with this. I'm going to save it. Just as a PNG. So I'm just going through this process for the first time, so it'll be interesting to see what we can do. I'm not going to do the high resolution render now, but you can do that in your own time when you're doing your own application. I might, if this works out quickly, I might do it at the end of the video. But let's see how that works now. If we go into the Cameo and just select this face, turn off stuff selection. Oh. Really what we want to do is select the whole thing. Actually, for the moment, I'm just going to create another plane. Let's hide this. I haven't used 3ds Max for ages, so sorry if I appear to be an idiot. Alright, so here's a plane. I'll just create another one actually, because the number of segments controls how well your displacement map is applied. So there we go, we've got lots of segments, and now just go into the object and find displace. Okay, so this is very low resolution, but you can begin to see how it works. There's the displacement map applied to the surface. I am going to, well, alright, I'm going to do a high resolution and see if I can get this working exactly how I want it to. So we'll go back to this one, and I'll change the render settings and do a much higher resolution image. Oops, open already. Great. So this is obviously going to take a bit longer. Okay, I think that my distance might be a bit too short there. I think that's all. I think that's cutting off, so that's losing detail there. So I might just adjust that now. Okay, there you can begin to see the fingers a little bit more. Which is good. It's a bit surprising that it's cutting off so early, so I might try once more to slightly change the distance here. Okay, that looks a little bit better. It's sort of fading in a little bit better. Okay, so I'll save this. Go back into the other, and I'm going to create another plane, this time with, hopefully this doesn't really annoy my computer. Okay, I'll set the bitmap. And let's see how that goes. Okay, so there you go. Beginning to see how it should be working. And you can start to see the detail. I might have to do it one more time, just a bit even higher resolution. And maybe high resolution on this plane as well, but there you go. You can see the effect that we're trying to get. So now that we have this height map, I might go into Photoshop and just modify some sections of it, so that I don't want, and I might want this to, I can play around a little bit more straightforwardly to manipulate the displacement. So ideally this section here wouldn't be displaced so much. If we look at it, so we kind of want everything displaced in the same sort of way, so we can just go into Photoshop and modify some levels. So especially for that bit which is pulling out much further than we really want it to. And this is going to be quite fun, hopefully, to give you an idea. Okay, so I'll just light up this height map that we've just produced. Alright, so what do we want to do is pull that further into the back. I'm just going into my mask here, select gradient, and alright. I don't want it to affect any of this stuff here, so I'll just cut that out. Okey-doke. Go back into selection, Control L to go into levels. So now we're changing the levels on this bit here, between there. And let's see what we can do. Actually, I have the wrong area selected, so I'll just Shift Control I to switch to having this bit selected. Go to the levels, and we just want to darken it up a bit effectively. So it's lightening up. Just darken it up a little bit, and what we should find is that that pulls it into the background. I'll just save this as height-map to B. And let's have a look at what happens when we apply that. Oops. Well, there we go. Didn't save it with transparency. Copy. Just reload it. Oh, I have to. That's a bit annoying, and I'm not really sure why it's doing that, because it should happily let me see. Should be happily dealing with the transparency there, and it's not. So we don't want that transparency, we would just want it to be black in the background. So if I come back here and just set everything to black, then that should be fine. That anti-aliasing is going to be a bit funny, but this is just a demo, so that will be fine. Why did I save that? Holy moly. Okay. Good. Okay. So you can see that that bit is sort of like faded into a similar height as everything around it. I've lost a little bit of the definition, but that's okay. Alright, so that's playing around with producing embossed effects from meshes. Let's just go through it again. So I have an arbitrary mesh here. I've created a camera. I've created a material with a fall off color map on it and just black for diffuse. I don't need to apply the map to the object itself. I'll just come along and set in the environment settings to use map, and in the render setup for the mental ray renderer, I've just set in processing material override to that fall off material that we've created, and then we get this height map. Like this. So this mesh could be anything, it could be a number of different objects. And then I've just created, I'll do it again, created a plane with lots of segments. Might even try more this time. Use the displace modifier, select the height map that I've just created, use the original there, and then we just apply the strength to bring it up. Cool. And then we can 3D print that as a cameo, an embossed cameo. That would be quite good. I might increase the strength a little bit and muck around with the displacement, but that's good. I'm happy with that. Great. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope this is useful for you. And yep, leave any comments or questions just in the comments of the video.